talk about it tonight. Mental health and wellness is our vibe. Baby, trust me, it's gonna be alright. Grab your tea and come chat with me. Talk and chat with me. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's good? What's good?
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
what's going on? What's happening?
Hi, welcome to the Chocolate Chat with Meka. As you can see, I have some guests with me today. I have my beautiful co-host, Miss J. Say what's up, Miss J.
Hey, everybody, what's good?
And then I also have a special guest co-host, my friend since the fourth grade. He's an artist, he's an entrepreneur, just a straight up businessman and a dear friend, Mr. Steve Nnamani. What's going on with you?
Wagwan, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, we all Jamaicans around here. I definitely am. Oh man, so we're gonna have a good time today, but I want to get into the topic as soon as possible. But first, I want to, as always, discuss our vision over here at the Chocolate Chat with Meka. We choose to advocate mental health, wellness, and healing, and I want it to be a safe space for us to uplift each other and the community while having a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of love. Y'all grab y'all tea and come chat with me. All right?
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to get into, since we did last week in our discussion, Miss J, how we met. Why don't we talk to Mr. Nnamani, Mr. Steve, about how we met? Why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners and our viewers how we met?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Steve, definitely a native of Rochester. Grew up on the west side, Charlotte Avenue, and I went to 44 school all the way from kindergarten to sixth grade. 44 is a definitely a neighborhood school, so everyone from the neighborhood went to school there. We all knew each other, literally from 5 years old, and we probably were in the same classes all the way until like 12 years old. So I remember, Miss Tanika Vance.
Whole full
After,
name, huh?
I'm sorry. I remember she comes to the school in our fourth year, and as kids, we've already adapted to each other. And anyone new is going to stand out, and Tamika definitely stood out. She always had a beautiful smile, and even at that age, she sang like a hummingbird.
Aww.
So, I just kind of gravitated towards her. I was in kind of like a fake competition with one of her close friends. I want to give a shout out to my boy Aaron Brown.
I forgot about Aaron. Yes.
Yeah, Aaron Brown, she for some reason she would kind of tend to hang with him a little bit, and I would try to snatch her away, and I've been like that my whole life with her. I've always tried to snatch her because she's worthy. So
whoa. Hey, I know that's for Will. Make it feel good, huh? That's so sweet. I really appreciate your friendship. You've been one of the people in my life who supports me, whether it be my music or this new podcast venture. You support, and you also promote. And you're more excited than I am. I keep getting these texts and I'm looking at my phone like, boy, you keep texting me. But I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I love it. And I know in the future you do plan on starting your own podcast eventually. Why don't you tell us what that's going to be about, Mr. Nnamani?
Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. But I'm actually going to start a kind of like a hip Bible study, not necessarily coming from a preacher's perspective. I'm not a preacher or pastor. I'm not even an usher at the church. I'm just I'm just a man that has been through so much, and I really truly understand that I'm standing here now because of God and because of the grace of
Amen.
God.
Hey,
and I just had the opportunity to, had some time to sit. God had time to, I'm sorry. God actually set me apart. And I took that time to build on our relationship. And he has
That's awesome.
made me aware of a lot of teachings. I've gained a lot of understanding. And so I just want to share that with you. But as I'm learning, I want you all to learn with me. So it won't be as though I'm teaching. We're all going to be learning together. We're all going to have questions, about whatever subject we're talking about that day. So get excited. You know what I mean? This ain't like nothing else. You know,
Okay.
TD Jakes, watch your back because I'm on your back, Jakes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so guess what? Everything's coming through my earphones, and the audio recording may not have recorded, but we're going to keep going because I can get the audio off of our Zoom call. So we'll just keep going. Anyway, I really do appreciate that. I think you're at an age in your life, as you were saying earlier off camera, that you are going through not quite a midlife crisis, but you're evolving, you're getting better. And it was even asked if you were single. And what was your answer? That was so dope. Just tell them what you said.
My answer was that I'm single and I'm fit for a relationship, meaning that I'm whole when it comes to my spirituality, and my maturity, and just my openness.
I like that. I really like
Continue
that.
to learn. Like I'm a life learner. I understand that. I've also had time to learn myself, and I had time to learn to love myself. And so now that I understand that, I'm able to pass that love on to someone else. I feel like that's what when it means when they say your cup overflows. When it overflows, that means you have enough for others.
Ooh,
so that's where God has. That's where God has me now. You know what I mean?
So basically, you don't want to be a player no more.
Hey.
I think of pounds of wood I could live my life for. Hey, don't want to be.
Come on.
All right. Oh, here we go. This man can sing too. I gotta tell you. She said, "Oh, okay." So also, before we move on, I wanted to talk about your new, as I say, he's an entrepreneur. So he has a new venture that's coming out called Hip Hop Funnels. It's a funnel cake tent. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
Super excited. 585 58 Live. We no longer have to go to Seabreeze to get those funnel cakes. We don't have to wait for any fairs to come around. I'm opening up Hip Hop Funnel Cakes on Genesee Street. It's going to be a summer vendors awesome experience. I'm going to have different flavor funnel cakes. I mean, just to give you a little sneak preview of the things for flavors that's coming. We have a sweet potato funnel cake.
Wow.
We have a Cocoa Puffs funnel cake. We even have something for the vegans, a sunflower funnel cake, and it is delicious.
Wow. That's
get
awesome.
Get ready.
All I know
is get senior citizen discount.
Yeah, because I think I qualify.
Right, me too.
Okay. All right.
No, he's like, no discounts.
Right.
You eat, you buy. You eat, you buy.
We got our own special.
We would definitely have. We'll definitely have things like that. But it'll be super fun. So, like you just said, the senior citizen discount. It'll be so more like me putting you on the spot. So if you want a free funnel cake, I might make you dance or something.
Okay. You gotta have music, right?
I'm definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna have all that there. I'm telling you that it's gonna be super awesome.
So what if I flew to get that funnel cake?
Say that again.
I have to get compensated.
She's in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Yes.
So basically, she wanted free.
If it goes good this year, we might be expanding down there to Georgia. So you never know.
Okay.
I might actually have you run the Savannah location.
Listen, Janelle, Miss J got so much going on. She's like the woman of many hats. If she add one more thing, she's gonna tip over. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, y'all, it's such a pleasure to have you both. I want to get right into it. We've already talked about our vision and why and our introductions. So the topic, let's get into that. It's juicy, right? We had so much fun. It was kind of an impromptu topic. I kind of was talking to Steve and we were like, yo, about mommy issues. And we just started writing stuff down. We was like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good stuff right here. This is good stuff. So it's called I've Got Issues. We've Got Issues. This is part 2. We did daddy issues. And today is called mommy issues. Oh my goodness. Right? We're going to get into why some of us might be a little jacked up because of our relationships with our mommies, and some of us may be a better person because of our mothers and how they inspired our lives. But this time we're going to talk about, because it's based on mental health, we're going to discuss our mommy issues. Before we get deep into the topic, I wanted to talk about this song that I was referencing. I love to talk about music because music is a part of me. And the song that I wanted to discuss was called Cranes in the Sky by Solange. And these lyrics kind of hit me because I was singing backup for a young lady. Shout out to Mo Perry, Miss Monique Perry. Last week at the French Quarter, I was doing her backup. Yeah, so we had to sing the song, and I was just thinking about it. I was humming it, and I'm like, yo, these lyrics are kind of deep. She has some stuff going on. And Steve even pointed out that her perspective was that she was feeling like she was in her sister's shadow when she wrote this song. And I think that's deep. We can relate it to being a child of a toxic parent. We can relate it to anything that's going on in our lives and what we did to get through it. Absolutely. So the lyrics go, I tried to drink it away. I tried to put one in the air. I tried to dance it away. I tried to change it with my hair. I ran my credit card bill up. Thought a new dress would make it better. I tried to work it away, but that just made me even sadder. I tried to keep myself busy. I ran around in circles, think I made myself dizzy. I slept it away. I sexed it away. I read it away. Away, away, away. It's like cranes in the sky. Sometimes I don't want to feel those metal clouds. Yeah, it's like cranes in the sky. Sometimes I don't want to feel those metal clouds. Heavy. And I thought that was pretty deep, right?
Heavy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful song. Most people look at the beat and want to just dance to it when they hear it, but it's very melodic, but it's also giving a message about the things that we do in order to run away from our problems. So I really am grateful that we got an opportunity to talk about that. So back to the topic at hand. I've got issues. We've got issues, part 2, mommy issues. I was referencing an article that I found on healthline.com, and it's by Timothy J. Legg, and he's PhD. And it says, when mommy dearest isn't so dear, unpacking mommy issues. And so basically, his loose definition of having mommy issues was you have a strained or complicated relationship with your mother that may carry over into your adult relationships, and that is setting the stage for complications with romantic partners or your own children. Now, I gotta say, both of those hit home for me. Definitely have had some rough patches when it came down to being a parent, or a mom, I should say. And I also had a few rough patches growing up, and being a direct reflection of my mom on certain things, some of that good, some of that bad. So it really hit home for me. The side note was, if she abused or manipulated you or failed to provide essential emotional support, the psychological after effects can persist into your adult life. Do you guys find that to be true? Some of those things that happened when you were a kid can leak on over, trickle on over into your adult life and your relationships?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, some of that can be terrible.
Right, especially if a mother's going through depression, right? That definitely affects the children, and their relationship, because usually people who are going through depression are locked up in their room, not interactive and so on, and they can't, right? Because I'm pretty sure each mother wants to be able to go out there and have fun with their kids, but some just can't, so.
Yeah. You are so right about that. And actually, a story about me, I was going through some major depression. I was diagnosed actually with depression and anxiety back in maybe 2013. And I did not know what was going on with me. All I know is I was always tired, and I felt physically ill from my symptoms that I was going through mentally. I literally would get a fever and sick because of my anxiety and my depression. So I remember my daughter Ari coming to ask me about coming to her award show, and I must have been having a very bad day. And I remember laying there and I just was like, baby, you just don't know. I can't get myself out of this bed. And she was so disappointed. And I just, that always stayed with me, and how she was so hurt. But I literally had a fever. And I hadn't had a fever earlier, but when I was laying in the bed and the more I got into my depression, I became physically sick. So it was hard to explain that to your little girl when she's in middle school.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, that definitely hit home with me. So those issues, how do they show up? He had a few points that I thought were important. I picked a few out of the article. The very first one was an expectation that romantic partners will provide more than their fair share of household labor or emotional support. Now, what do you guys think about that, Steve? What do you think?
As far as in a relationship?
Yeah, you expect that person to take care of 90% of things and you only maybe take care of 10.
Right. I think that kind of starts, unfortunately, as children, because we're taught as kids that boys have certain jobs and that women have certain jobs, and that I think that we're raised differently as well. Because I think, and I believe it might not even be true, but I feel like girls are raised to be married. They're raised to be caretakers. Even the games that they play, when they play with their dolls and how they play house and they make up everything, like they're getting ready for all types of situations. They make up these situations in their head.
So they're gender roles, basically. Boys are taught to play with construction, toys.
Right,
so you're gonna be building stuff, and the girl, you're gonna be in that kitchen. You're gonna be playing with
and then you go with the easy bake oven and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So those type of cater to those narratives that are put out there, by the older generation. Now things are different, because we're more conscious when it comes to raising our kids. So I think that's where it starts. I think that's where it starts.
True. That's true. But
I don't necessarily agree with that, And I'm sorry, Steve. In a sense, like with the statement, I don't agree with, because when it comes to being raised as a wife, a lot of women, mothers, are not wives. So how can they raise their daughters to be something that they have no idea?
That's true.
Because we're coming from single parent.
True.
My grandmother is a single parent, So it's just like my mom wasn't a wife, so that she couldn't teach me.
Okay.
To be a wife. She can teach me to be a damn good mother. And that's what she definitely was,
I think we can teach our idea of what it could be or what we think it should be, but that may not necessarily be correct,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that they brought up was trust issues. You have difficulty being vulnerable. So what do you think about that, Ms. J?
Well, I agree. I definitely have hard time being vulnerable, because I feel that my mother wasn't an affectionate person. She wasn't vulnerable with us in her relationship, So definitely that, I'm like, no emotion, don't really express. But that also, later on when I had kids, I made sure to express love. Like, I'm overly affectionate with my children.
Yeah, they probably like, all right, kiss me one more time, Mom. Going upstairs. But that's excellent. That's good to try to do better. If we know better, we do better, right? As they say.
Right. Because as mommies, we don't want to have that damage to our kids. If you know better and you know the effects, you don't want that for your child.
Yeah, that's so very true.
Recognize and heal, baby.
Absolutely. And that's why we encourage therapy. We do. We encourage talking to somebody, and this generation tried to fix those past traumas from our past, and
Absolutely.
and go forward from there. So the next one is a strong need for affection and approval. Now, Steve, can you relate to that?
I probably can. I think I can. You know, especially being an entrepreneur, that is important. Feedback is important. You know, feedback is important. You know, that lets me know if I'm on the right path or not. And it especially coming from somebody that I care about. You know, if I really care about you and I really love you, then your opinion matters. Even
Right.
if you don't know even if you're not familiar with what I do, you know what I mean? Still, what you say kind of holds some weight.
But are you one of those people who, if they say, that's a bad idea, you just not gonna do it because they don't agree or approve of it, or you just gonna still do it anyway?
I would listen to why it's a bad idea, and because those to me are like the things that could come up.
Okay.
So I take those, why you think they're a bad idea, and then I try to work on those, so that now those are that's no longer an issue.
Okay, well, that's good that you don't like lay down and cry and want to die because somebody say, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea." You're just like, "All right, thanks for your opinion." That's where I'm at now in my life. Okay, thank you, and I still do what the heck I want anyway, you know. Because,
but you know what I've learned though.
What'd you learn?
You know, I've learned that when you have an idea or when you have a vision, like God gave you that vision. You know what I'm saying? He gave it to you. And so honestly, I don't even expect for anyone to understand my ideas. You know what I'm saying? Because only God can see like my full potential. So even sometimes the ideas I get, they are very big. They're big ideas. You know, they're ideas that I'm not even ready for, whether maturity, financially, or anything. But the only thing I have to do is start.
And have faith that it's going to happen, right?
That's all I got to do is start, and God to do the rest. You know,
yeah. So, because Miss J, you're a business owner, you have Rose Noor, as I mentioned in our previous episode, and you probably had a niggling feeling like this is something I want to do. You didn't stop till you actually did it, right? Implemented it.
It was hard. It was hard because even coming up with their business name, there was a time that like it came with a business name. I loved it. Put it out there. And then someone was trying to imply that I stole the name. There's somebody's name out there, not in the same state, but in a different state, not even nowhere like close to mine. So when because I researched like my business name and everything, and just, you know, I just felt like, you know, God wanted me to have this name, and it's like when I pray about it, and it's this God's like, it's not about the name, it's about you.
Ooh, it's a message. She's coming in a Honda.
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Right. So when I get it set me back when I got that, because it was somebody that I respect. I understand it's like, okay, don't care about what people say, but when you respect somebody, especially somebody that has been in the industry for a very long time, and they may say something about it's a heartbreaker, you know.
Listen,
it can be discouraging.
When I put out my music, it was 2018, baby. I was so hyped. You couldn't tell me that was gonna be the next banger. It didn't work out that way, you know. And I put my music out there and let people listen to it before it actually got released. And I heard, oh, that's so dope. And then you heard, it could use a little more production under it. I said, that's not what I'm going for. That's not what I hear in my head when I think of my music, you know. And it was by someone who is on, you know, nationally, or I would say very popular radio show, and I respected their opinion. And I thought, gosh, if he don't like it, then it must be trash. But when I had to think about it. If I got a 90% yes and only a 10% no, or a 95% yes and only a 5% no, I'm gonna go with the positive and stop trying to replay that negativity over and over and over again and discourage myself, right? So, you know, I still want to produce and write more songs and get music out there later, but I just figured it wasn't the right time. You ever hear your favorite artist and you be like, gosh, I didn't know they had music way 10 years ago, and you go back and listen to it. Oh yes. That's who I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be on the you gotta dust it off, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she was doing that thing back in 2018.
You still in my playlist, honey. So don't you worry about it.
Yeah, hear my cry on Spotify. Look, let's promote yourself. Anyway, we got a couple more to go. So this next one I'm going to put together, there's two. It's Cold Feet in relationships and discomfort with intimacy. I think that's kind of deep. You really don't want to be bothered with relationships because you're nervous that it may not work out, like your mom's relationship didn't work out. And that's what I got from it.
Yes.
So you might still want to be a player or a pimp or whatever because you feel like, I don't have time for somebody to break my heart. Right. Like they did my mom or whatever,
That's exactly it. That was I was not going to be a sucker. No. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
I wasn't going to, just be in one relationship. Even though that it was it's good to do that, but for me, I just didn't want to feel stuck, or I just felt like men didn't necessarily treated women that I love properly, and I wasn't going to be a part of that. That wasn't going to be me.
So it was like what they call self-preservation. You deaded that before it even became an issue.
To have kids, you ain't gonna trap me.
Yeah. Dang, I wish I'd have met you when I was in my 20s. I should have been on the phone like, Jay, this dude like me to be like, don't do it, girl. Don't do it.
But I run.
Oh my gosh. I wish, but I love all my kids. I really do. And I had to think about like, gosh, I was all in the church and I was goody two shoes and I ended up with 3 kids and unmarried. Ain't that some foolishness? What in the world? I didn't think that was going to be my life, but I had to say my kids are a blessing.
Right.
They're awesome. You got awesome kids.
We do.
Amen.
It is saying that we are running out of time again. My goodness, in 10 minutes. So I'm going to really, really make this quick. We're going to wrap this up because I want to end it. Let's just discuss the number one subject that I wanted to talk about and have Steve take over. We're going to talk about mama's boys. What do you have to say about that really briefly? Because we got a few more minutes left on our time.
I think that, first of all, I think mama's boys get a bad rap. You know what I mean? And a lot of women don't understand how you even become a mama's boy. I believe that most mama's boys come from young mothers. You know what I mean? So you see, you see this woman that's your mother. You see her struggle. You see her go through so much to provide for you, to make you happy. You know what I mean? And so you tend to want to protect her all the time. Okay. I know for me, they also could be when you're a mother's boy, you don't even allow, if she's a single mother, you wouldn't even allow for her to really date properly. Right. You know what I mean? Because now you feel like there's another man that's about to take her away from me. You know what I'm saying? And he's not my dad. So now being a mother's boy can be dating complications for the mom.
That step-parent dynamic is hard,
exactly.
Like we talked about.
It is.
I also remember being like 10 years old and being in the car with my mom and a guy pulling up next to us and trying to, kick game to my mom and, whatever. And she didn't say anything. So he said, well, he started cursing at her, using profanity and calling her names with profanity. And he drove off and we were behind him and it was a stop sign. I was like 10 years old. I jumped out the car and ran up to his car and was like, what you say to my mom? What you say?
Ooh.
But what the thing was, my mom was actually mad at me. She was mad at me, like, what's wrong with you? You don't do that. You don't know this guy. He could have been crazy. Anything could have happened. And she's like, and that's when she tells me, let people say what they want to say, as long as they don't put their hands on you and stuff like that. So a lot of times I would take her from my mom and end up getting in trouble.
Yeah. Well, we have so much more I want to cover real quick. We discussed the hustler moms, the moms who teach their sons and daughters how to sell drugs or to be a pimp or in prostitution. You ever we discussed little Scrappy and how his mom was a whole prostitute or like a madam, and she had a whole gang of hoes basically. Right. And she was teaching her kids that that's okay. If it was a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's just like she was proud of that lifestyle. And I know a couple people who learned how to, Steve, as we discussed, cut up, their drugs. I don't know if I can say what it is, but they learned that specifically from their mom. And they put them on the street and say, here, you sell this, so it's rough out here. So be real quickly, we got about 6 minutes. The jealous moms, they're in competition with their children. Jay, you want to take that one real quick? Have you known anybody who had that issue with their mother?
Actually, I was in a relationship with a jealous mom, or I'm too much of a mama's boy, where she was just involved in our relationship to the point that she was calling my mom like, y'all.
Wow. Sheesh.
And I was grown, but it's when you're a single parent who, like, mama's boy is gonna be a mama's boy if that's all they have.
Yeah. And they're gonna take their side, right? At the end of the day, you ain't gonna say nothing about my mama.
Exactly. You ain't gonna say nothing about mine. How I feel about mine, I get it. But when it gets toxic, when it hinders you from your blessing, right?
Because we a good thing, right, Miss J?
Amen.
And if you want your mama to continue to cook for you, and you keep saying, "Oh, you don't make that cornbread like my mama make that cornbread,"
I go to your mama then.
Exactly. So we do have a couple more points, but the very last one I want to touch on, we got about 5 minutes, is partying with your kids. What age is appropriate to start drinking and smoking with kids? And we are not going to touch on that. I think our next episode is going to be that Mary Jane and how that affects our mental health. And then we'll discuss the age that we feel is appropriate to start possibly doing that, if ever, with our kids, and if that's something you would ever do. And we'll, see if that's, what you think about it. We'll take questions and concerns. If you would like to address that topic, you can email us with your questions and comments at thechocolatechat@gmail.com. Inbox us on Facebook and leave us a message. Just search us. It's easy to find, The Chocolate Chat with Meka. Our phone number is 585-397-7247. We're going to upload this to YouTube. So search The Chocolate Chat with Meka and you will see our faces big and pretty on there. Facebook and Instagram. Go ahead and find us at TCCM _Meka, Twitter @chat_Meka. I think I gave them all, right? We got all that going on.
Yeah, good.
If you can't find us, then I don't know what to tell you, I want to really quick, we got 3 minutes. There is a beautiful young lady who is one of my best friends in Raleigh, North Carolina. Her name is Marie Smith. She is the owner and operator of 2 businesses. One is called The Queen of Imps. She makes fresh empanadas to order, and she will make arrangements to deliver, or you can pick them up. She's in the Raleigh area. She also has a business that's similar to yours, Miss J. It's called Divine Occasions, and you can find her on Instagram and Facebook under those names. So she does the weddings and the special occasions and events and balloons and plannings as well. And so you can look up my girl. Her name is Marie Smith, one of my dear friends and a very, very strong supporter. Every time I post something, she's going to post it too. You can just look for her.
Right.
I love you, Marie. Thank you for your support.
Shout out to Marie.
Yes, meet me in the house. So, so I think we're going to call the next show, Do You Love Me, Mary Jane? Oh, and you already know what that's going to be about. It's self-medication and its effects on mental health. So until the next time, I want to give Miss J a shout out. Thank you so much for joining me today. And Steve, Mr. Nnamani, I thank you. I had a really good time. Next time, we're going to continue our discussion about that Mary Jane and what we think about that. We'll decide how much we actually want to share, because I know it's legal in New York, but I'm not sure about Georgia as of yet, right?
I'm not too sure.
There? You're not sure?
I have no idea.
I think that'll be something worth looking into. Don't you think we should look into that?
I can
before
find
we
out
discuss it too much. Like, oh no, we're going to jail. Ain't that serious. We try to go there, right?
We ain't speaking that. We're not speaking that.
Right. Now, real quickly, I had a friend who has a show. His name is Clement Daniel. He has a show called Talking Crazy. He premieres his show at Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yo, shout out to my man Clement.
Big Clem.
Clement from Monroe.
Soda Dog. Right,
What's
but his show is about relationships, music, and culture, and his show is on Thursday night. So I didn't want to kind of, cross over onto his time. I want people to watch his show on Facebook as well. It's called Talking Crazy. And my girl Cecily, she is another podcast host on her show, and it's called That's a Therapy Session. It's about the culture, minority-related issues. It's a bunch of fun. It's about 4 of them, I believe, when they talk about things. So go ahead and check them out. My girl Cecily Bruton and Clement Daniels, they have podcasts. I wanted to make sure that I was picking days that at least my friends, we weren't doing anything that kind of cross lines with them. Please join us again next week. We have more juice and gossip for you as celebrity entertainment, and we'll hit you up next week. Come and grab your tea. Come chat with me, the Chocolate Chat with Meka. Mwah, love you.
All right.